everybody. So I finished a show called Ted Lasso, which is about a American football coach teaching British football, which is soccer. Um, and it's a I think it's a dramedy. Because that's kind of usually what I classify Gilmore Girls as, and this kind of had a similar feel where there's still enough drama, where it's not like slapstick comedy, even though there's some scenes. But the part I really wanted to focus on is just the anxiety rep and some other things. Like, I think the show did really well for being kind of more of a comedy based show. So I think it, I think let's, so Ted Lasso in the first season, he has just landed in Britain. He, meets his team, he meets the manager. The whole time, and this is going to be spoiler filled because I'm going to talk about, I think, all three seasons. So the first season, you find out pretty early on that the manager's trying to destroy her ex-husband's life and trying to bring down this football club. Um, and then you meet Ted Lasso, which he does American football, and he doesn't know a single thing about soccer, and it's hilarious. Um, and you're slowly seeing his decline. I think mostly in the second season, but he's missing home. He's having to fight with this concept of his wife not they're having marital problems. That's why he took this job, a lot of the reason. um and you're just having to face that with him on like a daily basis. And he's like this super energetic guy, and like you wouldn't think on the outside like anything's wrong until he starts showing signs of like leaving the field, like having to rush to, leave and everything. Um so I think this show does a really good job, especially in the second season. Like I could not believe like the sound talent. Like you hear this like kind of buzzing noise like every single time like he's having a panic attack. I don't suffer from them or anything, but like I could imagine maybe that's like something that could like trigger, or they were just doing that to like kind of tell the audience like, oh, he's having another panic attack. But I thought that was really well done. And then um we get a therapist in the second and third season that he finally gets to see, and their relationship evolves into something pretty spectacular because like at first you see Ted you know not wanting to because of his experience with his ex-wife at this point and their marriage counseling experience, at least what he had of it. But you find out, because he's very truthful to her, and that's something I like, is that he's not like he thinks it's like a scam. Cuz she's like, "Oh, no, our sessions are 45 minutes, but charge you for an hour," which is, yeah, it feels like a scam. But, the medical world is great. But you kind of get into this like in-depth, like what happened in his childhood, like what happens with his father and stuff like that. And you just grow as an audience member like this big huge connection to him. And um if you don't know, I'm filming it on my phone, and I just got a phone call that was scam. They're my new best friend. But anyway, so I thought that was really well done. Their relationship, how the therapist really worked on like giving him trust. Like she's kind of like, yeah, this is like, like I'm just trying to be honest with you type of thing. Um and then kind of figuring out like, oh, so if I give him more information about myself, there's like a deeper connection. Um Now, you have to remember, like, if you're somebody that is knows like HIPAA and kind of like me that has like a basic understanding of what you're not supposed to do and not supposed to do as a licensed therapist in like a client thing, it does kind of cross the line a little bit, but at the same time this is a British HIPAA laws for this. So it might be completely different. I didn't look into it, but as an American, knowing our HIPAA laws personally and knowing like what you are supposed like the amount of a connection that you're supposed to have with your client and stuff, um it might bring up some red flags. And I like the fact that when the world finds out that it's a panic attack, that it's not just a stomach flu, he just comes out and says it. Like, yeah, we need to be a little bit more open when it comes to sports and, mental illness and stuff like that. And another thing this show actually does really good that's not mental health, but like a lot of the players are from different countries and the character named Sam is from Nigeria. So I don't know a lot about this for being in America, but if this is true, um like Britain didn't want the Nigerians coming over here illegally, kind of like, I don't know what that was on the floor. Oh, frick. Sorry guys. Um So it does face that too, and it does a really good job. Like this show goes from being really really funny to really really serious, and that's the kind of humor that I think we grasp more as a society because it's like we understand that, we understand that the room can change so much. Like you could be having like this best time, like having this big huge party, and then somebody explodes and then it becomes a very dark moment. And I feel like that's what the tone of this show and the shift they do a really good job with. Like just like you have Ted Lasso with his anxiety, you have Sam dealing with all his like he gets a sponsorship and you find out that the sponsorship is like killing the environment in Nigeria, so he has to face that and then he's a good guy so he cancels his sponsorship with them because of that and then becomes a big huge supporter, and you get like all these different things. One of the footballers is gay, so you deal with that, like those issues. And perfect ending to a love triangle that I've seen in a really long time. Um and you're dealing with the idea of divorce and what it does to like women, men, a whole family when you're just, you're by yourself having to face like, your ex, you know, husband or wife on a, frequent break basis. Like the manager has to face him like getting a new family and actually having kids and then him not wanting kids when he was with her and dealing with that mental anguish. Like it was a very powerful show and I wanted to discuss it here a little bit because um like I feel like I haven't discussed like a lot of just like the random TV show for a really long time, but um yeah, I just wanted to talk about it and yeah, I'm excited to be um I'm done with that. But I don't know. Apple TV is like really good. Might watch some more off of that. But otherwise, thank you for coming down. Like and subscribe. I'm here Thursdays and Sundays. Might be here a little bit more just because I am participating in Escape the Readathon, so I'm reading a little bit more than I usually do. But otherwise, you guys have a lovely day. Bye.